Hi guys. So apologies about the quality of this podcast, the sound quality.
Yes, we went through a bit of technical difficulties on the day, but I think hopefully you guys will enjoy the content that we put out for you guys.
So, we hope to do better next time. Thanks very much.
All I have in this world is my balls and my word, and I don't break them for no reason. You understand?
And welcome. You are here at the Big KIZ Podcast. It is a Saturday morning. It's not as sunny as it used to be. I mean, the week was sunny, but now it's typical British weather. It's gloomy skies, grey. I think it might rain even soon, man. But yeah, Brian, how's it going,
It's
man?
a wonderful English day.
how's?
Bigkids.com.
Oh yeah, of course. Catch us there. Also, you can send us voice messages on our website at bigkiz.com. So it's not just only us talking. You can join in the conversation because me and Brian are two intellectual G's, just keeping it trill.
Yeah, I wish. I wish we were. No, but so you know what's funny? Actually, we've just jumped into this because we kind of were talking about something pretty interesting. Okay, it was like a bit of Kanye's outbursts, Kanye West, and it was basically, what was he tweeting? You know, slightly more than me about his tweeting. Like,
Sure,
he was actually tweeting.
sure. It wasn't really a tweet. It was more. I think this was like in 2018 where he ran up in TMZ headquarters and he was just venting. He said him and paparazzis have always had like a very strange relationship. One minute he hates them, the next he's like, "Oh, take more pictures of me." But I think there was just one time where he walks into a TMZ headquarters and he's just venting on one of his vents, and then one of the claims which caught headlines was that he said that slavery was a choice and it still is, and that even 400 years ago, nothing's really changed. It's just the type of slavery has changed. And I'm talking about in America, right? In regards to a
Mm.
lot of African Americans were slaves at the time, but now it's changed. You see as America more of I don't want to say liberal, but more inclusive. You know, there's less times. I think the struggles of Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and all the civil rights activists during the 60s changed a lot of things. But Kanye argued that not a lot has changed in regards to slavery. It's still the same premise in regards to, well, I think maybe he was referring to the music industry, and a lot of artists get trapped in 360 deals in which they don't really own their music. And also, I think I was saying before, also even Dave Chappelle got caught in a trap with Comedy Central, in which when he first joined, he was really young. He presented the idea to Comedy Central about his show, and then he was surrounded by people in regards to saying that, oh, just sign this contract. It's a really good contract. It'll help you out. And yeah, what happened was that Comedy Central had rights to his likeness, his name, the material he made, and he didn't have no say in regards to how it's distributed. It's funny because even in one of his latest comedy acts, I don't even say acts now. It's more of his like insights, because
Appearances.
yeah,
I
it's
know.
changed. He even talks about how it's all a game in regards to the industry. Like they cage you in, they trick you into thinking that you're doing your own work, but deep down they're all in it to get you. And that's how he felt when he was in a room with like a couple board members, his own lawyers, when he was signing that contract. But and
So,
yeah,
I mean, I could go for like very uh, political on here, but I've always thought, for example, it's like often. So, like, let's put it this way. Let's think about this. Sometimes, often, you hear politicians talk about footballers,
mm,
and they're like, "Oh, footballers getting paid this, footballers getting paid that, footballers this, footballers that." And what's the reality? I mean, there's like twofold realities, right? A footballer's career might last only until their next tackle. One.
mm,
and their next contract. But more than that, most of them aren't necessarily well educated, or they come from working class backgrounds. You know, there was, you know, the kind of mad stories of perseverance and stuff that you hear about. Like think of Zlatan. Zlatan was, his parents were Albanian refugees into Sweden. I was listening to a podcast with Patrice Evra. For a period, the best left back, better than Ashley Cole for at least 2 seasons.
Yeah.
At his peak, and he used to bang out like 50 games a season. He was like saying, I was homeless, like I would have to ask people for food on the street. You know, so I think sometimes attacking players is like a nonsense. I'm a Man United fan, right? And think about this. Think about what the Glazers did. They did this thing called a leverage takeover. So basically, it's like they bought a house with a mortgage. And this is how it worked. They didn't have enough money to buy the business, but they said, we can buy some of the business and then we'll pay off the rest of the money slowly with the money that the business makes. So almost like a buy-to-let house. But think about it, I could have bought Man United if the bank lent me all the money, which is basically what they've kind of done. Like, think about it, it doesn't even make sense. It's like they've been lent money they don't own or have or whatever.
In order to purchase a football club.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what I'm kind of getting at is, all those guys, they make a lot more money. There's literally hundreds of thousands of people who make more money than footballers, but you don't know their name. That's where the power lies.
Of course.
The power doesn't lie with footballers whose career is over in 15 years.
And the thing is, footballers are just employees at the end of the day, you know? They're subjugated to their contracts.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think, so I remember Kanye West, he was on, what is that show? Is it Flex?
Sway.
In the Morning with Flex or whatever.
Was it Sway?
American.
Was it? Is
Sway.
it? Is he goes? You ain't got the eyes to Sway. You ain't Ralph. Like, was he going off on one of those?
He was on like an interview with Sway in the morning.
Yeah.
Because it's like the Eminem, it's like Eminem's radio station or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's on that, and he gets very agitated with Sway because Sway's like, oh yeah, you know, I tried to invent my own clothing line.
Yeah.
Kind of gets fucking agitated.
He's like, it ain't Ralph's though. It ain't Ralph though. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
Oh my god! Can I just say I love that? It ain't Ralph. That was a bit of a sick meme. I got into that meme for a while. Like, it ain't Ralph though.
But that's the thing. He goes on these rants, right? But there's an element of truth in that. Back to like the slavery opinion, right? In regards to before it was chains, now it's commercial stuff.
No, yeah, but I did think when he said, "Oh, it's a choice," I was like, it's harder, you know.
It's harder than that. Yeah.
I think it's I thought that I know what like we're sensible enough to know what he's kind of getting at without making it. But you know, I think that could be tough to hear.
Yeah.
I found it tough to hear because I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, you know.
But I think the opinion he was trying to get is that because also even when he says it ain't Ralph though, there's different levels to us, you know. Like I was saying, like footballers, employees, they're on a lower scale. If we're to look at hierarchically, you're seeing these CEOs.
I mean, they're higher up, yeah. No, footballers are higher up though, for sure. Like
in the grand scheme of things, like where you're saying the Glaciers, right? Where do footballers rank, right? Where does Ryan Giggs rank to what's his name? I don't know one of the members' names.
One of the Glazers.
One of the Glazers, yeah. He ranks right at the bottom, right? These guys are unable to get massive loans from banks.
Well, think about this.
Yeah.
Think about David Beckham. He's gone on to want to buy into
Inter Miami.
MLS.
Yeah, true.
Major League Soccer, because that's where he's going to make real money when he owns a football club and he has an income and people coming in for years and years or whatever. But So going back to this Kanye West and Sway interview,
Mm.
in some ways, I think Kanye was simply just a little bit. I don't want to say deluded, but I think he was a little bit deluded because all of these brands, all of these luxury brands, are controlled by a bigger conglomerate, right? And they're trying to protect their IP and make their shit desirable.
Of course.
And it's kind of like, you think money, like you even think, I don't know what I'm trying to say is like, he made lots of money selling records and stuff, but you know who makes lots of money? Someone who owns a sugar company, a transnational sugar company. If you're CEO of like Tate and Lyle, like an old British sugar company that sponsored Tate Modern, do you know how many bucks they make? Like, think how many products have sugar in.
Every product has sugar in it.
Right. So think about it. Like, that's someone who's actually making a lot of money. That's someone who is truly powerful. Like Kanye West made a lot of money, and now, especially now, he has even more money. But he's still a small fry. That's the reality. Like, compared to a big like fashion house conglomerate that owns Prada, that owns Gucci, that owns all these brands, and have like infrastructure of thousands of sales and distribution networks and everything all set up. He can't,
But that's what he's aspiring to become, though. He's even called him out. Because I think the person that you're talking about, he even talked about the person who owns the head brand. I think his name's Bernard Arnault, some old geezer. And he's even said, I've had like dinners with him, and I realized like they don't want me to reach their level when it comes to Yeezus. He's like, he doesn't get invited to those parties. And I think what he's saying really and truly is that there is a ceiling for a lot of people, and we all have a boss at the end of the day. Like, each person has a boss.
Oh yeah, but that's just how life is to a certain extent, in a way. No, but what I mean is, I think he thought he was gonna like go transcendental, but it's impossible because his scale is too small. That's the reality. It's like if he had created Uber, his scale would be different.
But Yeezy is everywhere, isn't it? Is it not? It's in Europe, it's in America, it's in China, it's in Australia.
Okay, but think about this. Is he bigger than Snoop Dogg?
Well, yeah, he's a billionaire. Snoop Dogg ain't.
Hold on, no, but I'm saying, like, how many people know Snoop Dogg and how many people know Kanye West?
That's a matter of opinion, Brian, man. That's a matter of opinion.
No, but think about it. Think about it. Snoop Dogg ain't released nothing good, and probably more people know Snoop Dogg just because it's Snoop Dogg.
I guess, yeah, the name does carry weight. But in regards to what a financial perspective, I'd say Kanye, definitely.
Oh no, yeah, But what I'm trying to explore is Kanye's reach is still more limited than he thinks or imagines, because the issue is, I think Kanye's looking at it like this: he goes and does a concert, and thousands of people show up all across the world, so he has that kind of draw. But like, I think fashion houses and stuff is even worse. I don't know, like. I just think he's not reached quite the scale he's thinking he's reached. That's what I'm saying.
Wait, in regards to what, mass producing clothes? Because I gotta argue that, because I know a lot of people, a lot of the young generation now will know what Yeezys are. Maybe the older generation. I guess he can't match up with like the vintage wholesale name of like a Gucci or a Prada, which is universal.
That's what he wants to do. That's what I'm saying. And the fact is, people don't rate him as a designer in that same way. That's why he's still salty about the Virgil Abloh thing, Off-White and all of that. He's salty because of that. Because
so what it was, listeners, Virgil Abloh was one of Kanye's boys together when they were working together, Louis, because what it was a couple years ago, both Kanye West and Virgil Abloh were both.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, both Kanye West and Abloh were working at Louis Vuitton doing like for some internship, and then Virgil Abloh went off to do Off-White, which is like it was a popular designer brand wear, I'd say in the year 2017, 18. And so it was getting a lot of coverage while Kanye was still doing Yeezy. And then 2019, Louis Vuitton decided to hire Virgil Abloh as their new director of fashion or something, some lucrative title in regards to him spearheading the fashion trends that Louis Vuitton will be making, which Kanye took really salty because Virgil and Kanye worked together previously, but they chose Virgil even though they knew that Kanye wanted it more, and he took that as a slight. And well, he could take it personally if basically in layman's terms. And
He did take it personally.
yeah, but but that's the question though. If you see someone as a competitor, would you want to bring him in? Someone who's
that's the reality. It's just like, why would a fashion house bring this guy in so he can get money and lose their brand market share? It doesn't make any sense at all. And that's just the way of life.
Yeah, everyone in it for themselves, you know.
Everyone in it, but also it's hard to scale up in that way so quickly, because here's the other thing, right? At the end of the day, Kanye West was a popular music artist for a while, but is anyone going to care in 20 years? You know, it's hard because there's no promise anyone's going to care in 20 years about him.
But I think that's why he's trying to move into fashion, into clothes. Because you're right, music is temporal. Eventually, the trends move on, your music gets forgotten. But I feel like with his clothing, if he can keep at it, maybe, yeah, you're right, he hasn't reached the level of what of a Louis Vuitton would be.
No, and I also just think, well, this is why he's also pissed that he lost Virgil, which is he's not sure he would be able. I think he's not confident. Like, this is the thing. Like, think about it. It's just like, how many people buy Yeezy trainers who don't like Yeezy music or haven't heard or familiar with at least one song?
There are a few. I met some 40-year-old guy who had a pair of Yeezys.
Oh, okay. And
Yeah.
he didn't like.
He didn't really listen to Kanye West. It was more what the kids were wearing, you know. What you see, because what it is, it's kind of a sheep mentality. What you see other people sees rocking, then you want to have it too.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, that's definitely true. But I don't know, like, what I'm trying to say, you know what I'm saying, which is trends and stuff go quick. And there's no, like, Virgil, for example, the Off-White, there is a distinct visual style, design style that he's got throughout whatever that Off-White brand does.
But to be fair, I feel like Off-White isn't as hot as it used to be, you know. I'm not, because I used to be into a lot of those, into trends, as we say, right? But I don't know, I don't see people wearing Off-White as often. It was a fad, you know. It's the same way in which, remember Huarache shoes, the Nike shoes?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I hate those shoes.
Me too, man. I never bought a pair. But there was a period where everybody was owning them, right? And I feel like it comes and goes, whereas what Kanye's doing, Yeezy's been around for over a decade, mate. You can't deny that.
No, but they are changing the silhouette every single time.
Of course, it's evolving. Whereas other brands aren't as lucky. What other brand can I think of apart from Off-White?
No, yeah, but you're saying that Off-White's still making more lots of cash.
True.
Like, but all I'm kind of saying is that Kanye, I think he is smart, and even when he's in a kind of the middle of an episode or whatever,
or divorce,
he does like touch on grains of truth. But sometimes I think he's lost conception of how
Oh.
big the world is,
Mm.
how much established power exists in the world. That's
I,
what I kind
I
of
think that's an American problem, you know. Americans feel like the whole world is America, and if they have
that's
like,
definitely true.
yeah, if they have like a massive reach in America, they think, oh, it's global, which ain't necessarily
Well, think
okay.
about it, man. There's more people in India and China alone than in America.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So you think about it, you're talking about like huge swaths of human population, and guess what? People in China, in India, know Gucci, know LV,
Mm,
know Christian Dior. They
mm,
know those brands,
mm.
right? They know Rolex. That's how it goes. So this is what I'm saying, that the Kanye reach ain't as big as he's thinking. That's what I'm saying. Like when he during that He Ain't Ralph though. Like really, the only way to get in is to do a Virgil Abloh thing where you get a cosign on a big brand. That's how you're gonna do it. Don't think that he's gonna just start it off by himself.
No, but he's doing a co-brand because Yeezy is co-branding with Adidas.
Okay, but Adidas is like a mainstream. It's not a luxury brand.
Mm, mm.
What
But
I'm
I think
saying
that's what
is-
he's trying to tailgate off of that.
No, he is trying to tailgate off of that, but it's hard when it's a bigger brand, in my like a less luxury brand. Trust me, the most luxury brands, the like think about it. I know how rich people work, right? You think the moment everyone started banging Moncler, they want to wear Moncler. Do you know what I mean?
Mm,
That's you know, there's certain things they don't want to. If someone basically, you know what I'm saying? It's like kind of like it's like poverty culture, in a way, where it's like if you haven't got lots of money, but you wanna drip, you're gonna buy certain brands.
mm.
You
I hear.
know? And I'm not saying other brands aren't still popular, like Chanel. Like some stuff is just classic, right? Like for ladies, Chanel. Chanel is just classic. The design style is very classic.
Of course.
But other stuff,
Well,
it kind of it blends in. I don't know.
yeah, I guess you said it. What was the word? Oh, you said it before.
What poverty culture?
That's it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because even nowadays, even the young kids are wearing flipping drip, bro. You're seeing kids. Because even see kids near my state wearing like flipping Moncler, wearing like what is it? What's the other brand?
Oh, but this stuff is always like Stone Island is a.
That's it. That's the word. Stone Island. Yeah. I'm seeing like 10-year-olds wearing. I'm like, what the hell?
Stone Island.
And these are like these are typical. Like their mom's probably a hairdresser. Their dad's probably a builder, and they're wearing all these luxury clothes. It's like crazy.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. It's like it almost becomes like poverty culture. When I see someone in a Moncler jacket, I don't think, oh, that person's wealthy. I'm thinking, this person doesn't know how to use their money correctly. I think I even remember like just on the internet, you know, sometimes you see them dumb ass articles or whatever, and it's like there was one. It's just a chick posting a selfie with like fresh, white, clean trainers, like Air Force Ones,
Yeah.
all white, and she was like boasting or whatever, and in the background you just see like some bust up bed, and it's just like, where's your priorities? And I feel like sometimes certain branding is a little bit like that, where do you get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. But you know what? To segue into what you wanted to talk about, you know what answer would be for this, just to have like a disconnect from society, and I'm guessing you're experiencing right. And what I think Brian understands clearly what I'm talking about when I'm talking about disconnecting from society.
Oh, okay. So
Tell us what's happening. Tell us what's happened this week.
okay, so basically, it was coming up to the end of my like internet provider contract or whatever, and they wanted me to pay more for the same service. right? So I thought, you know, don't really fancy this.
Mm.
So I'm like, okay, I'm going to change internet provider. So basically, today is Saturday morning, and I've not had any internet since Tuesday evening. But my broadband was set up on Wednesday, but they've just not sent the router. And of course, on top of this, if this router doesn't arrive today on Saturday, because it's extended bank holiday weekend, the earliest it's going to come is Tuesday, but it might be obviously Wednesday if it doesn't come on the Tuesday. So I'm already a bit annoyed, and I've used most of my data on my phone.
Wait, so I'm sure there's some positives from this, right? You've been able to do other stuff without the internet.
Well, here's the other thing, like, because of the because it's COVID times or whatever, and I work from home.
Yeah.
The laptops that my work provided come with a 4G SIM, like mobile
Okay.
internet SIM.
Okay.
So I ain't gonna lie, like I've jumped on YouTube. So this is the weird thing, like my personal email is blocked, but YouTube isn't blocked.
Hmm.
So I've been able to watch a little bit of YouTube.
So on your work laptop, is the data unlimited or is it certain cap on it?
it's
Oh, okay.
unlimited.
Okay.
So because sometimes if I'm downloading files or attaching like PDFs and stuff, it needs to be unlimited.
Okay. So can you access stuff like Netflix and other stuff or those
Oh,
blocked
to be
also?
honest, I ain't tried Netflix, but YouTube was working pretty well. But I think Netflix would be blocked, to be fair.
Okay.
But I've not even checked it. But at least for like, you know, using a little bit of the internet, I can use it. But obviously, you know, it's a 4G internet connection. So I have had internet, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's not complete.
It's just like I can't watch anything. So this is another thing that annoyed me. I was halfway through watching a show I was streaming onto my like Google device.
Yeah.
The ones you stick on the back of the TV or whatever.
Google Chrome. Yeah.
And
Chromecast.
yeah, like the Google Chrome thing or whatever. But because I have no internet, it doesn't matter that they're both connected to the same network. It doesn't let me stream from my computer to my TV. So that pissed me off because now I've not been able to watch anything big on the TV. So overall, it's been fine.
Mm.
It's hard. I mean, it's just difficult because it's like I actually just changed my mobile phone contract from 5 gigs to 2 gigs. And in a few days.
Oh damn.
No. So at the moment, my contract is still 5 gigs. Yeah?
Okay.
But I got the text message yesterday. Oh, you've used over 80% of your data.
Ooh, damn, man. Are you watching YouTube on your phone? Because don't do that. That takes so much data.
No. So this is the thing. Just like Facebook preloading videos.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that
People
can take.
sending like on WhatsApp sending pictures and stuff. So now I've tried to turn what I've been bothered off, basically, because obviously it just ruins your data. So I've turned all of that off, and even now, for example, I'm conscious. I wanted to do like a extended podcast because it's bank holiday weekend, but you know I need to have enough data to do some GPS stuff and whatever.
You got to ration your internet supply.
Exactly. But, you know, at the end of the day, I have done a lot more reading
Mm.
than I would have done. Just because you end up kind of... I don't know. It's kind of weird because in some ways, why would I use it less? Like...
Is it because you
do?
have limited options now? Because what I found is that too much options can just paralyze you in regards to for example, I can watch so much stuff on Netflix, Amazon Prime, YouTube, Facebook. But if you're limited to only a certain amount of things you could do, for instance, your situation is just Facebook, don't you have space for incorporating other stuff outside of internet, such as
You know
reading?
what I think it is? I think you kind of drop the stuff you don't need to do.
Mm.
Like, particularly social media, I think is the one. because nothing that's happening on social media is going to affect you tomorrow, or you kind of go on it just to pass the time. So you know how people like repeatedly check Instagram or Facebook or whatever. Now I don't do that, so now I have a lot more time available because I'm not checking a stupid social media platform constantly all day. Like, okay, let's think about this, man. It's like it's 10 to 10 now, Saturday morning. How many social media accounts have you checked already this morning?
Just YouTube, to be funny enough.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did. Oh, did I tell you? I deleted my Facebook like a month ago. My Twitter, I created myself a new account, and my Instagram, that one I'm fighting. That one I'm fighting. But what I've done, I've deleted the app, so I only can access it through the web browser. Even myself,
Oh, okay, what,
I'm
on Insta?
yeah, I only use it through the web browser on my phone instead of an app, because it just
Okay, that's interesting.
yeah.
No, because otherwise, you just open it and stay.
Yeah, it's habitual. It's literally, I swear to God, right? You open your phone and because I think it was last week when I deleted the app, right? Some morning I was wake up and I was like, oh, where's the Instagram app? It's because my phone was so used to unlocking the phone and tapping onto that, but now I'm trying to kill that habit. And it helps.
You know what?
Yeah.
I can't. I'm looking on here because I'm on Android. It doesn't give me an option to uninstall that app.
You're joking.
I have an option to disable it, but not to uninstall it.
Huh.
It's crazy.
Wait, you talking about YouTube or Instagram?
Instagram.
Because on my phone, because I've got a Google Pixel, you can't uninstall YouTube, you can only disable it. But yours, you can't uninstall it or Insta.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Damn, they really wanted you. They really trying to suck you down this social media rabbit hole.
Oh, okay. You know what? Oh, but that's funny. I'm trying. Oh, okay. I've disabled it and it's disappeared.
Okay.
You know what? Because I actually think that's a worthwhile thing to do, because I know you can it's like Facebook. Have you never been like trapped by the Facebook video loop?
Bruv, are you crazy? I can lose like 2 hours on Facebook, man. 2 good hours. There was one time I sprained my ankle and I was bedridden, and I remember just saying, "Oh, just quickly browse." No, someone sent me a Facebook link to a funny video. I said, "I'll just look at it once," you know. This was 10 o'clock. By 12:30, I hadn't moved from my bed. I was like, damn,
no,
man.
so this is the main thing, actually, having lost Wi-Fi. I'm thinking all this stuff is not worth it. And you know what? You've just mentioned this Insta thing to me. I've just gone and disabled the app because I know, for example, if I'm working and I don't want to do work from home, I could just easily boot that up and look at some nonsense.
Precisely that.
Even if I did it 10 minutes ago. Because it's true, the way it's designed is to kind of trap you. And I reckon this is the thing as well. This is the interesting thing. Lots of people who make money on social media don't use social media. They work it like a 9 to 5 and that's it. Then they're off.
Exactly.
It's a damn trap for sure.
It's a trap for sure, definitely. So since this internet outage has occurred to you, well, partial internet outage, are you going to take anything are you going to continue reading as you would, or is it just going to be back to normal once you get your internet sorted?
I have been reading more because I'm really, you know what, like I'm starting to see that, for example, this is the thing, like you're saying, why check social media? You could check social media once a week, and all that time you spend watching dumb shit or watching stuff that doesn't really matter, you could do it in one day, like in one 20-minute sit down. Every half an hour you're spending on those apps, you could spend reading.
Precisely that.
And like, okay, maybe not. You know what I'm saying? I think sometimes you take more from reading.
What I also found, I don't know, I was reading an article, where was it from? I think it was like medium.com, and some blogger was talking about how the brain isn't designed for short outbursts of dopamine. For what I'm talking about is like on you know these like 7-minute, 5-minute YouTube videos, right? You think, oh, I'm only gonna watch this video once, and then 1 minute you're watching, I don't know, what's this guy's name, Vsauce on YouTube about how water is everywhere, and then next you're just watching another 10-minute video on how cats, if they had farms, they would rule the world, and then 15 minutes later, it's these short videos that take your attention, and what that does, that actually destroys your concentration, which I've found, because even myself, I have to admit, over the years from when I was from secondary school to now, with the use of YouTube and social media, my focus isn't as good, because I'll jump on like Instagram for 10 minutes, come off of it, jump off it 5 minutes later, get off of it. Like, it's just these short hits of dopamine keep me going, and that's which I find even worse. Whereas if I sit down and watch a film, right, after that film, best believe I'm doing something after that. It's not like I'm not going to twiddle around, just think, okay, what else can I use to distract me? Because I already know I've had to focus on this film for 1 hour, and the brain can only focus on certain things. You know how they say that men can't multitask, right? I think that's true for me, honestly. I struggle to, because I'll do a lot of things, but hardly anything will get done. So that's my main reason for trying to avoid these social medias, these platforms, all of them, right? In order to get my concentration back. Because that's the one thing that, in order to be a successful person, I find you need focus.
You need focus, dude. I actually think that is. I think here's the thing: is like the idea of being successful is a long grind. It never happens overnight, and some of it is you need to just remove what is around you,
all distractions.
Which is not distractions, like things that aren't working you towards what you want or what makes you happy, or I don't know, like for example, reading that Mao book was very difficult. For me, I've got like some insight, some knowledge that I can carry on or carry over for the rest of my life on this topic.
How many pages was that Mao book you talking about?
Oh, like 500, but like, it was a bit of a struggle, because it was like, I've read another book which was about 300 pages in a fifth of the time.
Okay.
So it was like a more difficult book, basically. But I don't know how to explain it, but it's like sometimes you have like, they say like high pleasure and like cheap thrills and expensive, like sometimes when you watch something more difficult, you get a bigger satisfaction of it, and there is something human about that. There's something human about like wanting to master something, to become exceptional in something. Because think about this: every article on Wikipedia is free.
Yeah.
No one's been paid to do that. So who are all these people putting in all this effort online for free?
There's people who are definitely focused on what they want to put out there, you know.
But it's just like musical instruments. There's lots of people who learn how to play musical instruments, and they don't necessarily. They just do it for the pure enjoyment of learning and trying to get good at it,
rather than trying to become like Ringo Starr or something.
Yeah. Like they're not doing it to become pop stars.
No, but not even that. I think it's in the sense of like, he's considered one of the best drummers there is, right?
No, but he's a very famous drummer.
Okay, damn. Okay, maybe I'll put a bad example. Who would you say is a star drummer that's so talented?
I don't think he's like a super drummer, but he's like famous drummer. Is Dave Grohl?
Okay, Dave Grohl.
Like Nirvana and Foo Fighters and stuff like that. Yeah.
I think that's isn't that the mastery we're talking about? Because like you say, anyone can play an instrument, but to go as far as that, it takes some
skill and talent.
Not even that, dedication and focus, bro. Don't take away the focus part. Because how many hours do you reckon it took? They say it's 10,000 hours. You gotta be a focused person to do the the same thing over again.
Okay, but I don't think he's that. I don't think he's 10,000 hours talented. But no. But I think maybe, for example, no. But what I'm saying is, it's just part of the human spirit, which is people want to learn stuff and be good at stuff. And that's the opposite of social media. Social media is there to be like, to give you that instant satisfaction. That's what I'm saying. Whereas before, life wasn't like that. It was less about the instant satisfaction.
Yeah, definitely, man. I feel like it's so, the instant gratification right now is so in your face, man. And I do worry at times because I do envy the people. Okay, times are easier now, but it's just a bit too easy for my liking. You know, there's a lot of opportunities. You know, education, right? Self-education is at your tips with the internet. You can learn anything you want. You can become like a doctor from just reading Google Scholar. Is it Google Scholar? Yeah, literally. You can just jump on there and learn all you need to know about human anatomy. University is not even, I don't want to say it's overrated, but I do. So university is overrated because I went there and I'm looking at it. I'm probably not even going to use my degree. It's more, and when I speak to like older people, like there's a jeweler I met. He's 60-year-old man who used to be a jeweler back in like the 80s, right? He was saying, throughout, one thing he's taken from life is the experiences and knowledge that you accrue from actual doing stuff rather than the pseudo-intellectual things that you know, because it's having knowledge but and applying it is different, you know. So being able to actually use it is the most important thing. And I feel now, because it's so available, we're taking it for granted in the regard, you know.
But it's hard. But now there's too many distractions. There's too much to make you not focus, you know.
Definitely.
Like that's part of it. Like I think, for example, like books, they give you more than watching something on YouTube is going to give you. Not always. I'm not saying like all YouTube videos are the same. But it's like, why am I going to watch a review about a phone I have no intention about buying, for example? What's the point of that? Right.
There's no point.
Oh, and okay, you could say, oh, okay, why are you going to read about this? But it's like, you read about stuff you're kind of more interested in, right?
Yeah.
I guess you could say it's the same thing with the phone. But I'm less interested in the phone. It's just like the phone is easier to consume. That's what I'm saying. The phone gives me... watching the review about the phone is like an easier consumption of something, whereas the book is a more difficult one. And like you said, you're going to get a quicker dopamine hit of checking out the phone.
Talking about books, there's a book called by a guy called Michael Hopf, right? It's called The End. And he has an interesting quote like I pretty like, right? He goes, hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. So I think what I get from it is like, back in the past, times were hard, right? And that's where you got the figures that we all idolize, right? You got your Isaac Newtons, you got your Martin Luther Kings, you got your Rosa Parks, you got your Winston Churchill, whatever you think of him. Those times were hard, but they created iconic people that we remember throughout history. And now, I don't know, it's who are the people that we can idolize today, right? Well, idolize is but draw inspiration from, right? There's less of them. And it's because things are easy right now. We haven't got no wars, well, in the Western world, we have no current wars that's threatening everyone's well-being. We've got the COVID situation, but even that's been poorly managed. But right now, it's just, I don't know, things are easy, you know? And it's harder with all distractions now to be as, what do I want to say? To stick out from the average from the average person, you know?
But I think some of it is like, it's bread and circuses. It's like, sometimes I think about this, because this is one thing I think about so often. It's like, instead of playing video games, what if people went out into their communities
Mm.
and helped their communities and engage with people around them instead of playing video games? Think of the hours. I just kind of think, what if you knocked on elderly door's neighbor and just had a chat with them for 20 minutes? Or, you know, like, instead of playing a stupid, and I say this, I played like hours of video games.
Yeah, we all had, mate.
No, but I always just think, damn, you know, or what if I had spent all this time, all these hours in my life that I actually spent playing FIFA? Why didn't I learn another language? Or, like, basically, kind of like, why did I not use my time in a way that would expand my life instead of diminish it?
But
or
that,
whatever?
but then again, that just goes into what we're talking about, distraction today. I think 60 years ago, having a Nintendo 64 or an Xbox was not a thing. You only had going outside, playing physical sports. There was like the computer age has definitely changed a lot of stuff in regards to
Yeah.
we're more sedentary. You know, there's no
More
need
sedentary,
to.
but also I think it's like it's kind of made to escape an existence. It's like people are less interested and worried about real life because they can escape it into an alternate reality, you know, and that kind of side of it is only just beginning, because I think you see how people get addicted to World of Warcraft or Second Life or whatever. Like when the VR thing becomes more real,
Oh
you
crap!
live in your shithole apartment. And it's like, and you don't think people are going to turn into like junkies. It's just like putting a vein in your arm and chasing the pony. You put on your VR headset, and there you are. You could be with the most beautiful woman in the world, tailored to your VR.
Settings, yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like people are already losing touch with reality. Like that's what, you know, that's what Donald Trump is. That's what the religion of woke is people losing touch with reality.
Definitely agreed on that, man.
Like it's kind of, and this is the thing. It's like people need to talk to each other. As mad as it seems, it's like I don't like talking to people, to be quite honest. But like, just for example, your recent experience in the hospital,
Yeah.
where you're talking to people in the ward or whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I value that more than any series I could watch on Netflix. I promise you that, man. Because that's definitely gonna stick with me, you know.
no, of course, and this is what I mean. It's kind of like, how do I know? Like, remember the old thing you were saying? There was the old person in your school who you had no idea, and they used to be like
Oh, yeah.
the
Yeah. He was about to go Olympics to judo without, if they didn't have like I think they smashed their ACL.
yeah,
And
it's crazy, but
Yeah.
that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's like, okay, it's mad to think, because this is what I'm saying. Like, people don't know about each other. Everyone's assuming stuff about everyone, you know, and people don't know. I think this is the other thing. I feel like people, you know, how often do people know their neighbours and stuff?
True. Hardly ever.
It's not. What I mean is, it's like, it's kind of like, it's not the right way for people to feel. Like, this is the thing. Is at the end of the day, as long as everyone's like got warmth and food, it matters less. And what matters actually is family or connections or community. Like, I almost sound like a hippie, mate. But what I'm saying is, you know, you can't take it with you when you go. Like, you're not on your deathbed thinking, damn, I wish I had bought another house or whatever. You're thinking, damn, I wish we had gone and done this, or, you know what I'm saying?
100%, man.
Like,
100%. It's like
kind of,
it's the things that we only live this life once, man. And we just got to make the most of it. One thing to segue off of this part. Have you got time? Do you want to talk about the Football Index article that you sent me?
oh, okay, yeah, you know what? I think that's important, and we'll do it quick.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you like, what do you? Well, let's go from here. Actually, what do you know about this story?
Okay, so you sent me the link, right? And at first I was like, "What is Football Index?" So from what I understand, it was a trading platform in which the currency was players. You could invest money into a football player, for example, Hazard, Neymar, I don't know, any Premier League footballer, and you get returns on how well they performed and how much media coverage they were getting. So let's say when Romelu Lukaku is in the headlines, right, for scoring a goal for Inter Milan, the value of him would increase from like £2 to £5. So this was initially started in 2015 from what I'm reading from the article. And so anybody and anyone can just put money into a player and their stock would rise and depreciate. Which I find is a funny thing to use as a stock value, but okay. But then I realized what it really was just a Ponzi scheme from the sounds of it, because what it was is that eventually you'd be paid dividends on the more money you put into, well, this trading platform, Football Index. But then the problem was when COVID hit, people were trying to take their money out, but they were being funny. They were like, if you want to sell your stock, you got to sell it to other players, well, other investors they used, right? And that was a bit dodgy. And also, it didn't make a lot of sense, man.
So let me go in on this because
Yeah.
I just think it's a bit of a mad story. Because
Yeah,
some of it is like people being tricked,
definitely.
like, but it's kind of like in some ways I almost think it's not an illegal trick because it was gambling. Like, think about it.
Yeah, this was authorized by the Gambling Commission. That's the crazy part also.
No, but I think what it is everyone thinks of the stock market as kind of not being real or whatever. But this is the kind of the football index. It kind of presented itself as stocks and shares. But it's not really stocks and shares because it was held by one company, whereas the stock market, anyone can go in and buy. Right? So that's why the stock market is more real than Football Index. Football Index was just one company who set the prices.
Okay.
So that's why it's already gambling. But because obviously it's football, one, you know how many, like, just think about football, fantasy football. Everyone in their head is a football expert.
Yeah.
And so you're hearing stories of people putting like all their house deposit money into Football Index, all this kind of stuff. And in some ways it hurts because I feel bad for those people. But at the same time, it's hard to look at it and think, geez, that's like incredibly ridiculously stupid. Like, it hurts me to say it because there's good people affected by this, no doubt.
But what I found, because I watched a YouTube video to get me in the loop of what was going on, the way they marketed themselves was very lit. Like, they even sponsored football teams like QPR. You can find them at football pitches on the sideboards. Literally, like they campaigned. They were on the side of like Black Cabs, Football Index. So it presented itself as a very legit trading platform. But it was just, well, now it's gone. Right now, listeners, it's gone into administration. That's why it's making headlines.
Yeah. So basically, at some point in the game, like a few months into a year or two or whatever since they started trading, they just like half the values of everyone's stock. So everyone who had put in any money to buy stock of players, suddenly it was worth half of what it was worth.
Okay.
And this is what I mean, that because it wasn't an actual stock market, it was just literally the company
who decided.
You're buying like a virtual product from a single company, basically. So you're saying, in this game, I'm going to buy this much worth of stock of this player. But it's just like, you need to think of it as almost being like Ultimate Team. You're buying coins for an Ultimate Team type game. So when they change the rules of the game, it is what it is. But people were putting thousands of pounds into this, like house deposits, life savings. Like there was like a 24-year-old. He's like, I've worked since I was 16 and I've lost all my savings.
Shit.
You know, or people saying, "I got to tell my wife I got no more money for the wedding." Don't worry, bro, 'cause there ain't gonna be no wedding now.
Damn.
You know, or stuff like, now I have to tell my partner we can't buy the house because I've lost all the deposit.
It's mental, man. Like, damn, that's the thing, man. And did you? Because I think even the CEO, his background wasn't nothing. He apparently he owned like what was it? He owned a porn distributing company. So they made like porn videos on VHCs like back in the 90s and stuff. That was his history. And the thing is, nobody bothered to look into it. So that's one thing that's opened my eyes. Whenever you invest in, like, put your money into something, know the people who are running it, their background and what they were doing before. Because if it's unrelated to the field that they're trying to present, then
Well, you already know.
Yeah.
But I mean, so that football index was shocking, but the stories were very sad.